How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka for our Soul review video for today. This time for this new episode for the series is going to be my review on the 2023 apocalyptic psychological horror thriller, and that is Knock at the Cabin. Now, this is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and this film is based off the book called The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul G. Tremblay, and this film tells the story of a gay couple named Eric and Andrew, played by Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge, and they have an adoptive daughter named Sabrina, and they go to this remote cabin in the woods to have a relaxing family vacation together. But what ends up happening is that they end up getting taken hostage by four armed strangers, in which one of these strangers is the leader named Leonard, played by Bautista, who makes the demands towards the family, in which one of the members of the family has to make a sacrifice to avert the apocalypse. So that's pretty much the story of Knock at the Cabin. Now, I was really looking forward to this movie. There was two reasons why I was looking forward to this movie. One was because this was a new Shyamalan film, and you guys may know already, I'm a huge fan of M. Night Shyamalan myself. And another reason why I was looking forward to this movie was because of the cast. Like, you've got some talented names who are in this movie, such as Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, and Rupert, which I was really surprised that he was going to be in this movie. Although when it comes to M. Night Shyamalan films, they can either be hit or miss for anyone at all, really. While his earlier films like The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs, I really enjoyed those films a lot. But when The Village came out in 2004, it got a lot of divisive reviews from both critics and audiences. But for me personally, I enjoy that film, even though I do have a few flaws with that film. But from after that, he did make a few films before in the past that haven't been that much very well received for both critics and audiences, like Lady in the Water, The Happening, The Last Airbender, and After Earth. But when The Visit came out in 2015, that film definitely redeemed his career back to the way it used to be from his earlier films, and I really enjoyed that movie. And when Split came out in 2017, that film was even much better than The Visit, and I had a huge blast with that film, and I had a lot of fun with it as well. And it's definitely one of my favorite Shyamalan films since The Sixth Sense. But when Glass and Old came out, which both of those movies I was really excited to see, they were unfortunately disappointing films for me, but I didn't hate those films. I thought both of them were just generally fine, even though I kind of wish they could be a lot more better despite from its flaws I have with both those films though. But once I saw the trailer for this movie, like I said, I was looking forward to it, but I was a little bit curious on where this one was going to land for myself when it comes to Shyamalan films and all of that. And this film came out on the 3rd of February this year, and obviously I was going to go and see it, but I didn't see this film on opening day because I went to see some other things that came out the exact same day as this film was. Like, I went to see The Whale and Puss in Boots 2 first. And so I decided to see this film just 2 days after it was released, which I did. So I went to see this on the 5th of February this year. And the screening that I was in, unfortunately, really wasn't much of a full house, but there was a fair amount of people in the screening that I was in. But after watching this whole movie, I gotta say here, guys, that I really enjoyed Knock at the Cabin. I can definitely say this is definitely one of Shyamalan's better films here. And I can definitely tell you that I enjoyed this one a lot more than Glass and Old. But I wouldn't say this film would be like the next new masterpiece from Shyamalan since The Sixth Sense. But this is still one I can definitely say that I really enjoyed here from beginning to end. In terms of acting performances here in this movie, Dave Bautista, who plays Leonard in this movie, is the real reason to see this movie because he's generally great throughout the entire film as this creepy yet menacing villainous character. And as for the young girl who played Sabrina in this movie, she was really good in the movie too, and I can't wait to see what she does in the future. And as for the actors in the film, like you've got Ben Aldridge, Jonathan Groff, Rupert, Grint, and everyone else, I thought the acting talent was pretty solid enough here. But the character development, however, is one of the few flaws I do have with this film because the character development, however, was unfortunately weak here. And there wasn't a whole lot of depth of the characters in the slightest. But the acting talent, for the most part, like I said, is still pretty solid here. But again, there just isn't a whole lot of depth to the characters in the slightest at all, really. And as for the storytelling for this film, it is pretty engaging enough for a film like this. Although this film does follow the exact same tropes like other Shyamalan films, like it's mostly just the story logics in this film because this film does have them here and there. Like there are times where the film doesn't make a whole lot of sense and does get a little bit confusing of like what's going on. And there were times where I was watching the film where I was getting a little bit confused what was going on and also kind of questioning myself like what was going on. Like, why is it just this gay couple that has to make the sacrifice and what's so special about them and their daughter? But overall, I did like the story, but again, there were times where I was getting a little bit confused what was going on. And since this is a Shyamalan film, you obviously would expect a twist. And usually, when it comes to twists in his films, they can either be hit or miss. But after watching this whole film, I gotta say that the twist for this film was surprisingly a hit because I really enjoyed the twist here in this film. But I wouldn't say the twist will be like the next all-time greatest twist since The Sixth Sense or anything like that. But I still really enjoyed the twist here in this film nonetheless, though. And the direction by M. Night Shyamalan was pretty well directed by him. Like, there's some really great shots in this film, like where they shot the film to the moments where it has like really dark, tense moments. and I thought he did a really good job directing those moments. And the violence in this film are surprisingly really bloody here in this film, and I didn't really expect that going into this film, because at first, once after I saw the trailer for this film, at first I thought this was another PG-13 Shyamalan film, and that's what we usually get from that's what we usually get from him nowadays. But no, this is actually R-rated, and he hasn't done a film like this in a while. The last time he did that was for The Happening, and you guys may know the way that film turned out to be as. But for what he did here the second time around here for this film, I can definitely say he definitely did it a lot more better than the first time he did with The Happening, because I thought he did a much better job with the violence here in this film. However, when it comes to moments where it has like dialogues and all that, when it comes to like directing moments where it has like dialogues and all that, it's another flaw I have with this film, because I kind of found it really distracting, because like the camera's like looking at the character's face, and you see him talking to us on the camera while in those moments, in like dialogue moments, and the camera like starts to tilt in like in the Dutch angle, like either left or right, and I found that really distracting while as I was watching the film and all that. That's another weak aspect I did have with this film. And as for the pacing for the film, it is pretty smooth, and it flies by pretty quickly, since this film is only an hour and 40 minutes. There was never a moment in the film where I found it really draggy or really dull or anything like that, because like I said, I was really engaged. I did find myself pretty engaged nearly throughout the entire film and all that. So overall, in the end, guys, Knock at the Cabin, yeah, it's pretty much a flawed film, but like I said, I definitely did enjoy this one, and I can definitely say this is definitely one of Shyamalan's better films, but I wouldn't see this film be like the next new Shyamalan masterpiece since The Sixth Sense or anything like that. But and there are a few ways I can recommend this film. If you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan like I am, or you're a fan of the cast like Dave Bautista, or you're a fan of like these kind of films, this is one you definitely don't want to miss out for yourselves. Yeah, and if you miss a chance to see this in cinemas, it is available to watch at home on demand. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Knock at the Cabin. I'm gonna give Knock at the Cabin 3.5 out of 5. Despite the movie being flawed here, like I said, I definitely did enjoy this one a lot more better than Shyamalan's last two films, which were Glass and Old. And I can definitely say this is definitely one of Shyamalan's better films in recent years. But I wouldn't say this is like the next new Shyamalan masterpiece since The Sixth Sense or anything like that, though. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my 8K After Hours Saw review on Knock at the Cabin, and let me know what you think of this brand new release. If you have seen this already, or if you've just recently checked out this film, did you have a blast with this, or are you very disappointed with this? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.